The global elite treating you, your body, your life, like nothing more than a stalk of corn or a shaft of wheat to be bioengineered. If that sounds shocking, brace yourself. For years, Bill Gates has been quietly working to turn the human body into a computerized tool, without your knowledge and without your consent. What might feel like the plot of a sci-fi horror movie stops being fiction when you see the evidence we're about to lay out. For the vaccinated, this isn't just a movie, it's a living nightmare. Let's start with the basics. The human body is a marvel, a pulsing network of tubes and tunnels, brimming with electrolytes, capable of transmitting information. It's the perfect conductor, and Gates saw an opportunity. In 2004, Microsoft was granted US patent 6,754,472, a method to transmit power and data using the human body as a wireless network. Exclusive rights to your body, handed to a self-appointed health czar. Did anyone ask you if you were okay with that? Of course not. This isn't a theory, it's a fact you can look up yourself. But it's only the beginning. Fast forward to 2021, when the vaccine rollout changed something fundamental. Autopsies of vaccinated bodies started turning up anomalies, disturbing ones. And then the next twist. Those same corpses, buried 6 feet under, are emitting radio frequency signals. Signals you can detect with a handheld spectrum analyzer. Something serious is happening, and it's no accident.
Look, guys. Gone in 2021.
Wait.
It's a wild guess why, but
Look.
we're running
binary codes.
binary codes here, guys, off the thing.
Get away from me.
Look, 2022, guys. Binary codes up the ass right there. There's information coming out of the graves, guys.
This is the elite's endgame, a techno-communist dystopia where your body isn't yours anymore. It's a plan decades in the making, and Gates is just one piece of the puzzle. They're not just experimenting on us, they're enslaving us, one signal at a time. Do not underestimate the global elite. They are mad, drunk on power, and they have plans to covertly infiltrate the human body with nanotech robots and IP addresses. How do we know? We've got the footage. It's real, it's raw, and it's right in front of us. A deep dive into Pfizer's murky history reveals they partnered with an Israeli research university to develop programmable nanorobots to be injected into people to alter their DNA, issue them with an IP address, and connects them to the internet. What looks and sounds like a wild conspiracy theory is actually a conspiracy fact. Let's take a look at a 2013 presentation delivered by Bartland scientist Dr. Ido Bachelet to a room of pharma executives demonstrating the programmable nanorobots under a microscope. Here he explains that one syringe can hold 1,000 billion robots.
So these nanobots have been envisioned in the past 30 years by people like Eric Drexler and Robert Freitas and Ray Kurzweil. Today I'm going to show you that these robots exist here in Israel. And I'll show you this syringe, which I brought from my lab. So this syringe has inside it 1,000 billion robots. So these robots are each 50 nanometers long, which as you can see in this slide under the microscope. 50 nanometers is about 2,000 times thinner than the thickness of your hair. Okay, and these robots were born actually 3 years ago in a research I did with Sean Douglas, now a UCSF professor. But over the past year and a half, in my group at Bar-Ilan University, we've been developing and testing robots for a variety of medical and therapeutic tasks.
Remember, this presentation was delivered in 2013, meaning they've had this technology for over 10 years. Why was it kept hidden from us? Later in the presentation, Bachelet bragged that they can retain total control of the nanorobots after they've been pumped inside human bodies. As Bachelet explained, the controller is connected to the internet like an Xbox, and the controller actually links these nanobots to the network. That's right. The nanorobots have an actual IP address that can be accessed remotely.
And the interesting thing is that because the controller, like the Xbox, is connected to the internet, the controller actually links those nanobots to the network. So they have an actual IP address, and they can be accessed from a remote device sitting on the same network. For example, my doctor's smartphone.
Now, here's the kicker. As Bachelet confirmed, whoever is secretly controlling these DNA nanorobots can turn them on and off with a flick of a switch and release payloads into human bodies. Hold on, payloads? Payloads of what?
So this is how the nanorobot looks like. It's built from DNA, as you can see, and it resembles a clamshell in which you can put cargo. You can load anything you want, starting from small molecules, drugs, proteins, enzymes, even nanoparticles. Virtually any function that molecules can carry out can be loaded into the nanobot, and the nanobot can be programmed to turn on and off these functions at certain places and at certain times. This is how it controls molecules. And so this particular nanorobot is in an off state. It's closed. It securely sequesters anything you put, any payload you put inside, so it's not accessible to the outside of the robot. For example, it cannot engage target cells or target tissues. But we can program the nanobot to switch to an on state based on molecular cues it finds from the environment. So programming the robot is virtually like assembling a combination lock, using disks that recognize digits. But of course, instead of digits, we're assembling disks that recognize molecules. So these robots can turn from off to on, and when they do, any cargo inside is now accessible. It can attack target cells or target tissues or other robots, which you'll see later on. And so we have robots that can switch from off to on and off again. We can control their kinetics of transition. We can control which payload becomes accessible at which time point. And let's see an example of how these robots, for example, control a cancer drug. So what you can do is you can take nanobots, you can put the nastiest cancer drug you may find into the robots, even a cancer drug that's been withdrawn because of excessive toxicity. Okay? When the robots are locked and you put them in a mixture of healthy cells and tumor cells, nothing happens. No cell is affected because the robot safely sequesters those drugs inside. When we unlock the robots, all cells die because the cargo inside, the drug, attacks anything on site.
Pfizer's DNA nanorobots might sound nightmarish, but for those who've been paying attention, they are nothing more than Klaus Schwab's fourth industrial revolution being put into action. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. knew exactly what was going to happen because the global elite have been preparing for the pandemic for years. As RFK Jr. explains, the vaccines were a bioweapon developed by the global elite and the deep state, and they left their fingerprints all over the crime scene.
Turns out that, the vaccines were developed not by Moderna and Pfizer. They were developed by NIH. The patents are owned 50% by NIH. Nor were they manufactured by Pfizer or by Moderna. They were manufactured by military contractors. And basically, Pfizer and Moderna were paid to put their stamps on those vaccines as if they came from the pharmaceutical industry. But, that's not what they were doing. They were coming from, this was a military project.
Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elite and waking people up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to interact with our fantastic community and support our work. I hope to see you there. Today's video is brought to you by IPv6ers. Are you a content